Welcome to Doron Yoga, everyone. Today we'll look at Parighasana. Parighasana is the gate pose. It's a pose from the second series, the intermediate series of the Ashtanga, Ashtanga Vinyasa system of Patabi Joyce. The Parighasana is wonderful because it really stretches the side of the body. If you're an Ashtanga practitioner, you don't really get much of that, and it's kind of an awesome thing to do. So I even offer people to add that sometimes in their primary series as a variation of Janashurshasana 8. In Vinyasa classes, you'll get it when you're doing reverse warrior, if you're not doing them as a back bit, but as a side stretch. In hatha yoga classes, many times they will do this even at the beginning of the class, stretching the side of the body. We'll look today at the Parighasana from some more simple variations, like some of the ones that are used in Vinyasa, to the full variation of the Ashtanga, and also how to kind of modify it and make it happen. Okay. It's a fun pose, don't worry, safe and good for everybody. Let's start from the basics. So the variation that many times I've seen in hatha classes is kind of coming up to one knee, the other leg is straight, trying to lengthen as much as possible both sides of the body, and then as I go down, right, I'm stretching, lengthening up here, trying to lengthen from below as well. I'm giving myself a nice stretch, eventually looking up under the arm towards the sky. So, it's one variation, and this is fantastic, really suitable for everybody. Sometimes even preparing for it as a kind of prep, just taking one hand down while seated in any comfortable seated position, and taking the other arm over the head, right? This is a nice kind of good beginning stretch for it. And this can be here, can go further down to here, eventually elbow down, arm over the head. Right? Don't let the elbow down and lift the hip. We want to try at least to keep the hips down. Okay? So, again, starting up, lowering down partway, lowering down further, and stretching the side of the body. So this is kind of a seated variation, preparation. We saw the one with the knee up, and now let's look a little bit more at the full pose. So, start with my easy side, left leg forward. My right knee is bending, and I take it back out to about 90 degrees or so. The back foot is folded next to the body, and then I'll start to go sideways. For some, this is not an option, and the knee starts to hurt, and it's kind of sharp pain. Don't go there, right? You can always do this as a Janashurshasana variation, the knee here and coming into the pose this way. That's where I said that even if somebody's doing the primary series and you're doing Janashurshasana 8, if your teacher is okay with this, don't go telling them I said so, right? Some Ashtanga people want you to stay exactly according to the sequence, and this doesn't come in the primary series. You can add a revolved, a Pravrita Janashurshasana 8, and that's just kind of a nice way to start getting that opening and that stretching. We're going back to the classic intermediate Ashtanga pose, Parighasana. So, turning the body sideways. First step, just like we did earlier, hand down, arm overhead, right? Just we changed the bottom part of the body, but we've done this. And we also said earlier, if this feels good, you can start taking the forearm down and work on this. For some of us, it's just kind of uncomfortable to have the arm here. It pulls us down or down here. If that's the case, wherever you are, you can place the hand behind the head or even behind the shoulder blade if you can reach, and work on opening up, right? It's not so much about how far down you're going, but really on working on opening the chest so that you kind of get this nice side stretch while opening up. This is a really good place to do this. The other place you do get it in Ashtanga is in extended sine angle, Parighasana, where you kind of take it sideways and over. If all this feels still good, eventually we're working on going down further. Sometimes it's hard for me to get the shoulder all the way down to the ground. So here's my little trick. I bend the knee, I stick my shoulder onto the thigh, and then it feels like, okay, it's kind of glued together. I press them, and as I straighten the leg, it kind of takes the shoulder down with me. Obviously, it may not work for you if you're not flexible enough for this, but it just helps, and you can go towards it. Once I'm down, again, arm over the head, or hand behind the head or arm over the head. If possible, holding the side of the foot. My hand that's on the ground holds the inside of the foot. The hand coming from above holds the outside of the foot. From here I open up the chest and I try to lift both elbows, turning my gaze up towards the sky and constantly opening, using bandhas to ground, to lengthen in the lower back. Breathing. We'll look at the other side and I'll show you some ways to get into the pose, because this is kind of, again, for some of us will be a bit challenging. So if I'm just turning around, no vinyasas, just demonstrating today. So here I am over my right leg. My right side's a little tighter than my left, part of being human. So as I'm coming down, I can already feel my right hamstring saying booba la booba. I don't know, maybe yours speaks a different language, but mine definitely talks to me and says, ooh yeah! So while I'm going down here, I'm saying, you know what, I don't know if I can go fully into the pose. I'm going to work on creating more space and length with some tricks. So as I'm holding the left hand to the right foot, instead of taking the right hand to the leg and kind of being in a half good pose, I'm going to start working on taking my right hand to the leg, and I'm going to pull myself in one direction or to the knee while opening in the other. So now I have kind of these hands pulling in opposite directions, and it really helps me feel a nice opening. A crazier, deeper variation for the same kind of system of pulling in different directions is taking the right hand, right? It's the same hand of the straight leg. Taking it under the thigh, under the bent leg thigh, and holding, you can see I'm holding the ankle. So I'm holding it where the ankle is, and then from here, I'm starting to lower down, taking the hand and opening up. As you can see, well, it's the second time, and it kind of allows me to go a little deeper. Breathing. Belly in. Shoulder relaxes. And if I want to now, I can actually release the hand and take the full Ashtanga variation. And my foot was going a little bit to the outside. I should try to keep it up as much as possible while I'm doing the pose, right? So try not to let it roll out too much. But no, one side may be easier than the other, and that's perfectly okay. So Parighasana, great pose. Lots and lots of variations that can be practiced from beginner to advanced. And if you're teachers, it's really awesome if you can offer some of these variations to your students so that everybody can enjoy the practice. Hope you do enjoy the practice. Let me know what you think, of course, and I'll see you soon in one of the next episodes. Namaste.